It's Maca Magic.
It's that real shit.
This is the one and only art god. I am the greatest artist from the past, present, and the future. I'm the number one artist in the world. There's no artist that has ever defeated me. I dominate and reign supreme as the greatest artist that's living today in this generation right now. And today is gonna be a legendary podcast interview where I lay it all on the line. And I'm here to elevate and to transcend the greatness to the entire world. Psilo Podcast. Let's go. Let's go.
They say humans are social animals. They can't live alone. But you can live pretty well by yourself. I tell you, instead of feeling
It's a
alone
beautiful
in a
woman.
group,
Because I've been drawing beautiful women my entire life. Ever since I came out of the womb, I was drawing. Know that the art god is only around the baddest bitches in the game.
It's true though.
Only around. We don't play around.
so it doesn't matter if I'm there or not.
So cute. Aww. It's so pretty. I'm so pretty.
Yes, yes, yes. There she is.
Oh, I love the details.
Yes, yes. Yeah, very, very unique. I enjoyed every moment, observing your beauty, seeing your proportions of beauty. Every beautiful woman has a different face, a different, even though some women have similar features, but they're everything. I've drawn so many girls that it's just the most subtlest difference in every face. But absolutely beautiful.
The eyes are so detailed.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you for being my muse. Yes.
Awesome.
Annabelle, appreciate you too, my brother.
What's up, everybody? Annabelle the Animal here, and you are watching Psilo Talk Podcast. Today, we have an awesome guest. We have the art god in the house. He just finished up a beautiful mural of a goddess, so please welcome the art god. Welcome, brother.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming in today and blessing us with your art. It's freaking amazing what you do, bro.
Thank you, my brother. It's a blessing to be here. I want to thank God just to be here with you.
Yeah, bro.
today, and it's a blessing just to celebrate and live life to the fullest, to embrace the ultimate power of God. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I feel as if God has been guiding my life into the perfect places that allow me to meet the right people.
Brother, I tell everybody that comes here to the Coin Academy in Pasadena that it's a vibe here. And if you're here, it's for a reason. You were attracted here.
Yes.
You know, I tell people this all the time. Making money is like attracting a beautiful woman. You don't chase it, you attract it.
There
and
you
you're
go.
here because you were attracted to this place. And when I first thought of this show, I actually told you before I even started the show, it was like 6 months ago that I met you.
Yes.
And I was telling you about the concept of the show, and you're perfect for it because you're a master artist, you know.
Master
And
artist.
when I first met you, I was like, what kind of art do you do? And you're like, everything. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm a child prodigy. So I'm really curious in hearing your story, you
Yes.
know, of what led you into this world of art and your philosophy, because the concept of this show is that the opening to every single guest is they're expressing their art form. Whoever my guest is expresses their art form, because to me, art is therapeutic. You know, what you can't say, you'll draw, you'll paint, you'll sing, you'll dance. And you said something interesting earlier, because I was going to ask you, I was going to tell you, like, do you think that everybody is an artist, or is something that is God given to certain people? So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey in the art world and a little bit on your philosophy?
Thank you, my brother. So I always let people know I have a lot of high-powered assistants and business people, agents. You know, everybody want a piece of the art God. Everybody want to be a part of me, and I have people that want to represent me a lot all the time. And when they introduce me, I listen to it so intuitively, because I'm always like, I'm such an artist, but I'm such a competitor.
Yeah, I could tell, bro.
I'm a super competitor.
I could tell from all of your Instagram posts here, you're a hardcore competitor. I love that, though.
Man, that's why you and I resonate.
Yeah.
We can understand each other.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that I know that are part of my fan base too. I love them for that. That's the reason why I do it. A lot of people are really scared to say, a lot of artists, not just artists, but just people in general, really hard to say a lot of things that I really say out there, because it takes a difficult mind who is willing to sacrifice your entire life to your craft.
Yeah.
And to dedicate it so much that way beyond the normal human being of a man, of a regular man. Because you can see life is about challenging. I'm the David Goggins of the art world, and people hate that. They hate the fact that I challenge everything in the art world. I said, challenge it. Can I do that? I kept thinking, like, because watching I got Floyd Mayweather mentality inside of me. I got Michael Jordan mentality inside of me. Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. The greatest athletes. I was an athlete growing up as a child. So not only did I do art, I was athletic. I was the fastest kid on the block, played football, the best football player on the block, played football all the way up until freshman year. And I was still the fastest and the strongest back then, which was great because I was so athletic and I challenged. It's interesting, even when I think about sports, I think about working out, the mentality of getting stronger and bigger.
Yeah.
People don't realize this, like, even though I'm not that big right now, but I could, at one point of my life, I could bench press 345 plates. Which is
because you're saying 345-pound plates, and you're not a big guy.
I'm not, so even that's
very impressive,
guy.
You know.
Oh man, I had growing up, being an athlete. Growing up, I was always in the gym. My brother was in the gym, and I got onto working out early because I was one of the kids that was working out hard at sixth grade and seventh grade.
Yeah. Because
my brother was a couple years older. And he was a football player, so when we got the gym plates at home, he'd be working out on there. I got to do it too, you know. And
so you've been competitive since you were a little kid.
Oh, since I was a kid, me and my brother.
There was something you told me. You told me that you were a child prodigy when it came to the art world. At what age did you go into the art world, and when did you realize that you had a gift?
So I'm a genius child prodigy of the art world. So I was discovered at the age of 5.
Huh? What were you doing? Were you painting, sculpting?
I was drawing proportionate animals. So at that time in kindergarten, around that age, I remember we took the going to the zoo. They took the kids to the zoo. All of us looked around. We're looking at all the animals.
Yeah.
The lions, the zebras, the monkeys. Come back to class. Teacher puts all the paper and the crayons. Hey kids, what are we doing today? You're gonna draw the animals. Okay. All the kids sitting around have paper. Okay, kids, here's the crayons. Now all of a sudden, little art god's right there. All the other kids are there. He's drawing. Oh, wow. Let's look at what the other kids did.
Like scribbles,
scribbles, stick figure, happy face. And then all of a sudden you get to the art god, and it's a proportionate monkey.
That's crazy.
And the lady was just like, whoa, hold up. And then all of a sudden the kids are just looking at my paper.
Yeah.
Some kids are crying, I can't do it and all this. And then they start surrounding the table. Oh my God. Then he's good. Give him a paper. Let him do mine. Do mine next. And then all of a sudden at 5 years old, a little kid put a penny on the table. Boom.
That was your first commission.
First commission.
A penny, bro.
A penny.
What did you draw? For a monkey? Another monkey?
Another monkey. Yep.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When you were drawing your, animals, at that point, did you have any experience at all with drawing, or did it just come naturally to you? What was your process in your mind? I'm always curious about this because I see people that have what I would call raw talent. That even in the, unrefined version, like they're very preliminary, you can see it in there. Like I'm talking about hip hop artists, I'm talking about athletes, I'm talking about dancers, I'm talking about painters. Even when their first thing is like a spark of that talent is there, but I don't know where it comes from. I'm always curious, like where does that spark come from? Did you have any like lessons at that point, or where did it come from where you can actually do proportionate drawings where everybody's drawing fucking stick figures?
Man, what's crazy is the most intuitive answer to that is really my observation at an advanced pace beyond the average human mind as a child. Mm-hmm. And when you kind of intuitively think about it, if you can look at an object, it's one thing for somebody to say like, hey, yeah, I couldn't draw that. But to do just like a quick kind of rinky-dink drawing,
yeah,
anybody can doodle something, but like you have to understand perspective. You got to understand volume. You got to understand shape. You got to understand sizing relation. The slightest little things like that is all in the eye. And it's difficult to expect an artist to be a master at that. Yeah. Yeah. It takes a super intuitive mind. That's why I study the masters. That's why I'm a master artist. I'm not an artist.
Yeah.
That's the main thing that I always
What's the difference between a master artist and an artist, and who are the people that you consider master artists that you look up to and study?
Man, that's an easy one. It's already written out in history. The most legendary master artist in my book is, I'll say, the goat of all goats in my mind, because this is how I learned, how I became who I am, is Michelangelo. The great Michelangelo, Il Divino. They call him the immortal artist. Why do they call Michelangelo the immortal? Because he is the immortal. He's such a master artist. He's the best who could draw and paint and sculpt and create architecture, anything of the imagination, faster than any artist, more deeper than any other artist.
Yeah.
The Renaissance all of the master artists at that time period hated Michelangelo.
Because he was so good.
He was the greatest.
Yeah.
Leonardo da Vinci was jealous of him.
Yeah.
They were all jealous. They wanted Michelangelo banished from the kingdom of the Medici family, and the popes who were commissioning Da Vinci and Michelangelo to create these masterpieces.
Yeah.
So at that time period, I love the story because this is my mentality towards the art world. Michelangelo, the most major function and part of the art god. Why? Because he's Il Divino, because he's divine. He said, not only am I going to be the most highly skilled, I'm going to be the most highly advanced and the most highly divine. Because I'm creating art through God. And through that, you will get the message of greatness through God. Look at my pieces and the passion of it at its highest degree. And no artist throughout history in the future could ever achieve it. And it's true to this day.
Yeah, it's interesting you said, that you for art anyways, you use the word passion, and you said that you give everything to it, right?
Yes.
And the word passion, it comes from the Latin word which translates to suffer or to endure. So I feel any artist that is a true artist, they have to express their art. They have to, and they're willing to die for it. They're willing to do whatever it takes for it because it's part of who they are, So to you, what is art?
To me, art is infinite. Art is infinite because art is God. What do I mean by that? That means that if you have God in your soul, in your passion, then you become a warrior in this world. What does that mean? That's where your passion drives from. You have to have the warrior mentality, which means that you will be confident. And what's confident? Confidence is what art is at the end of the day. How confident are you with what you want to create through art? Do you just want to be entertained? Or do you want me to create a multi-million-dollar masterpiece? Or do you want me to create a multi-million-dollar masterpiece campaign? Or a billion-dollar campaign that can be global with major corporations like Forbes, Bloomberg, all the high-powered billionaires in this world, Elon Musk? Why not? You don't want to go there? Open up your mind. You want to go to space like Elon, like Jeff Bezos? The mentality of mankind. I know art so much because I've already gone to space. That's why I understand Elon Musk. I've already gone because, like I said, I tell people I can create a portrait of you precisely as you are. I can entertain the entertainment of rendering you like a picture, if that really satisfies your mind, because you're looking at reality. But to me, that doesn't satisfy my mind. Yeah. My mind thinks like, and that's where you get to see the levels of greatness in even legends of art. That's why Michelangelo reigns supreme at the highest level, above Leonardo da Vinci, above Raphael. They were the greatest painters. They were considered the greatest painters of the Renaissance. Caravaggio, Leonardo da Vinci, and Raphael. Raphael was the youngest, and he was the most youngest with the bravado.
Yeah.
I could paint beautiful women, queens, popes. I could paint beautiful portraits of them. And they're looking at Michelangelo sculpt all day, chiseling. He's chiseling. But Michelangelo was so great at chiseling and sculpting. I love Michelangelo so great because he was the best drawer until he picked up the chisel. But even when he chiseled, he drew.
So he was drawing with the chisel.
Yep.
That's the way that he was doing it.
That's how he created his art. He drew, he chiseled, chiseled. Whenever he looked at a piece of stone, he drew it. And he said, it's going to like this all the way around. He knew exactly. And he was so great at drawing. He can draw it dead on.
Yeah.
So with him, they hated that, and he sculpted faster than any other carvers, sculptors at that time, because that's how the David was created, because it was a stone that no sculptor wanted to do. They said they can't do it. It's too small. It's not the right size. We're not able to, it's going to break. Michelangelo said, you know what? Sit down. I can do that. And then at that time, the Pope said, you know what? You can do it? Yes. Come on. And I was tripping because he was like this. Come on, I'm the one that did the Pietà. What's the Pietà? The Pietà is, let's see, the Virgin Mary holding Jesus in her arms.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it's his dead body. And he's just laying. And that's what Michelangelo sculpted at 14.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
And he was like, yeah, that's just like my third sculpture. And they all looked at him. He's all like, you think I can't sculpt just one figure of David? Pfft, you got to be kidding me.
That's interesting because there's certain people that like that right off the bat, they're just so freaking good, you know? And it sounds like that's what you were when it came to art as well. Off the bat, you just, boom, had it. Now, when did you actually start to take, lessons? Because you said you went to Art Center College at what age?
About 10 years old.
10 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an expensive as art school.
Expensive ass art school.
Yeah, and I know all the greats go there, and you were there at 10 years old. How did you get into that? How did they, I didn't even know they allowed 10-year-olds to go to that school. What did you study while you were there? And at what age did you graduate? And what did you start doing after that?
Crazy. Yeah, 10 years old, made it over there to Art Center, child prodigy. You guys are going to trip out on this. My first professional, I would say, art that I did was for PlayStation. So I was working with PlayStation when I was junior high school.
You're like in seventh grade or what?
Dude, yeah, 7th grade. I was so good at drawing.
Would you do the Crash Bandicoot?
Oh my God. I created it was for a game called Ravage.
Okay.
And it was in Japan.
Yeah.
So my older brother at that time, he had like a friend that was from Japan. Mm-hmm. And he was like, he showed him my art. And then he was like, damn, your little brother did that? Yeah. So like, oh, okay, my family works with PlayStation. Mm-hmm. They own this freaking Japanese company. They want to do a comic book with PlayStation and want to see if they'll pay you. Your brother to do it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Man, my brother connected us, and then and I remember they were like, "Dude, we're about to pay you. This with PlayStation, make a whole comic book and everything." And I drew the whole thing out.
Wow.
And it was a crazy experience for me because it made me learn. I learned the stages of business throughout my career.
Do you have a manager, or do you manage your everything yourself?
I am always the boss of all boss for myself.
Yeah.
I have, what I always tell people is I have a lot of high-powered agents, a lot of high-powered investors.
Yeah.
That's what I have a lot around me.
Okay.
Agents, investors, philanthropists, innovators.
Yeah.
That I work with what I create now, because everything that I create now it's got to be on a high level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on a whole nother level now.
Whole nother level. Yep. Always.
So I mean, you're a freaking 7th grader doing some major work for major corporations, PlayStation and comics.
Yes.
And there was something that you mentioned, the difference between, you said, a commercial artist and a regular artist. Is that what you said?
Yes.
What is the difference between a commercial artist and a regular artist? And how do you generate income, in each field?
Man, Doug, you know what? I thought about a great answer to that question right there. I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this answer for a long time too, and there's so many ways to explain it, but I got a great answer for you. If this is the best way to break it down. There's 2 artists throughout the history of just art in general, whether it's commercial or whether it's fine art. It doesn't matter. Just art in general. And these two artists' careers will explain what the difference is between a commercial artist and a fine artist.
Yeah.
A commercial artist, the Michael Jordan of commercial art, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
He's the MJ. He's like, dude,
Yeah.
MJ coming down, dude. He's unstoppable. That fade away, nobody can beat him. Everybody thinks he's like the Jesus of the comic book world.
Yeah.
And he is, to be honest, in my opinion. I see
Who?
him as the Michael Jordan of the comic book world. Jim Lee. He is the Michael Jordan of the comic book world.
Who's Jim Lee? I thought you were going to say Stan Lee.
No, much love and respect for Stan Lee as a legend. He's one of the he's actually the greatest legend of all time.
Yeah.
In the comic book world. Jim Lee's not that.
Who's Jim Lee?
Jim Lee is the Michael Jordan of the comic book art world.
Okay.
He's the best of the best. I would equivalent him as Michael Jordan in that world, because he drew faster, drew more. He outdrew every artist.
And, so he's a workhorse.
Yeah, workhorse. and not only was a workhorse, but he exploited your flaws as weaker artists.
Okay.
So like some artists, they're and it's interesting with comic books, because comic books is about speed. Because it's like, and I love that I grew up being a comic book artist, because it taught me how to transcend life in this world. Because it went beyond me drawing people, little boys, cartoons, words, shapes, into drawing us as superheroes, being able to transcend to another universe, battle robots, meet aliens. It allowed me to expand my mind.
I have a question
Comic
about that.
books, yeah.
When it comes to comic books,
Yeah.
did you draw your own comic books, or did someone hire you to draw their storyline?
So it's interesting. As a young child, I grew up on comic books and cartoons. So when looking at that, I was always so mesmerized, and I would cut it out, little pictures. I would always just be staring at it. I had a little book called How to Draw the Marvel Way as a child too, growing up. And I opened it up, and it's like, I forgot the artist way back, but it's Stan Lee.
Yeah.
And his first artist way back in the day, they drew a manual book on how to draw Spider-Man.
Oh, that's cool.
Iron Man.
I had a Dragon Ball Z one. That's all I knew how to draw.
Yep. And of course, one of my favorites, The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
So I was starting to draw that as a very young age. In high school, it was funny. I was so advanced that growing up wise, they would always like take me away from all the other kids right away, because they were the teachers at the time were just like phenomenal. And then they're like, okay, you got to get you away from all these other kids who are not on that level.
Yeah.
You hear all the supplies. Here's the paints, the paper. We're got to make a portfolio of your work. People were so intuitive. That's why I love the respect and honor of art.
That's cool, man.
It's so intuitive beyond measure.
Now, did you graduate like regular high school, or did they put you through a different program so you can focus on your art? How was your schooling and your childhood going into your adolescence and your adulthood as this child prodigy? Because you're almost like, I would say, like a child actor, where they do like homeschooling because they're always on set, or they're always taking acting classes, or they're taking fencing classes, horseback riding classes, this class, that class, because they're artists, and they don't really have a normal childhood. They have a fast-paced ticket to adulthood, pretty much. So by the time you're like 12 years old, you've lived the life of an adult. So for you, what was that experience like? Did you have a normal childhood, or was it, a different experience?
I'm the art world champion. That is the undisputed. the unified, the invincible, how I became that at a very, very young age. When I was in kindergarten, I was winning art awards with kids that were beyond my age range. They were twice my age.
Yeah.
I just started noticing that when I was really young. I was just like, whoa. I was like, I couldn't even sit in a chair.
Your feet were dangling and shit?
Yep, feet are just dangling. I'm just like a little doll in the chair.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there, my mom and pop's next to me, and looking at the other kids, and they're like older than me.
Yeah.
And then like, but all the art's on the wall.
Yeah.
And there's ribbons. So they're like, and all these kids are just tall. I'm like, what? Their art and my art on the same wall? And then they're just like, okay, third, second, first place.
You're always winning first.
First place.
You're the champ, bro. Can nobody beat the art god?
You can't beat the art god.
If you try, you're gonna be, you're gonna be disappointed.
Oh man, dude.
So
have,
now what how do you compete now as an artist, as a master artist? Is it just because I have some friends that are also very wealthy, and to them making money is almost like a competition, a game. You know, like they could be whatever it is. They could be in the financial world, they could be in the entertainment world, and they're just like playing this game of who can make the most money. And I feel like master artists, they're all good at what they do, right?
Yes.
But what is like the competition? There's no like, Grammys or is there? Maybe I don't know. Is there like a master showcase where like all the top master artists of the world compete on, something that's provocative or new or changing, or like, how do you compete now as an artist?
You know what? For me, I never looked at, for me, the competition to me, it was for me, honestly, just being honest with the ultimate power that I possessed.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to the competition, that's the first thing that I thought about. I said to myself, I have a lot of artists that I grew up with. It's interesting, my mentality in art. I've been dominating the game since I was a child, so I was drawing better than all the other kids. Growing up through high school, college, drawing better, faster, recruited by Disney, drawing better than all the Disney artists, Warner Brothers, Microsoft, commercial artists. Nobody could compete with me. And then all of a sudden, after I made $1 million for Bill Gates and Xbox Live.
How'd you do that?
I sold one avatar. It was a customized avatar of a beautiful goddess. I was holding these weapons, and she had daggers, knives, but I had her just so seductively standing there and laying there, and she had all the weapons like she was going to war, but also just very sensual and powerful.
Yeah.
And I told the guy, this guy, Paul Schmeideke, he used to work with me back in the days, in those times when I was I was Microsoft's #1 artist, the best of the best. They brought the guy who made the Microsoft deal with this advertisement agency that I work with. Mm-hmm. And so the guy was like, we got the Microsoft deal. We can put any art on the avatar. And then the company said, well, who's the best? Oh man, he right there. He's right there. Jason right there. Go up to him. He can do anything. What? He's the best. Nobody can draw here. Everybody here is a graphic designer.
Yeah.
Don't put a logo on. That's not going to sell. So, so they said, get him right there. So I came up and it's so funny, the commercial art world, because you're a slave to the game.
Yeah.
Because as a commercial artist, you're working for either a corporation that's going to pay you to create a personal advertisement for. It could be digital or real art, but they're just using it for commercial advertising.
It's a marketing campaign with your artwork.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So that's what a commercial artist is, and I did that for 25 years. I created that piece of artwork because I learned about the power that I had to be able to create one piece of artwork worth $1 million was my strategy.
Wow.
And I told the guy, I said, who are we competing with? And the guy said, Gears of War and, what's that called? Gears of War and Call of Duty. those are the major games that are right now. They're killing it. They got all kind of marketing.
Yeah.
But he's like, I got the plug though. Don't even worry. We're in the mix with those guys. And I said, dude, what the heck? That's amazing. And then the guy, see, he's smart. I love and respect Paul Schmeideke for this businessman. He was so real with me as an artist.
Yeah.
That's why I always tell artists, most artists in this world took an advantage of in business. Mm-hmm. Because artists, right in the beginning, you have to say that I am creating value. The moment that your mind triggers and you say value equivalates to money, then you can understand how to monetize your skill and your talent.
Yeah.
So a lot of artists have a hard time making that transition and understanding that fact. So they don't understand that I can create value now through my mentality now. People, like, I wanted to come on here, my brother, and let the world know right away as we're having our legendary podcast today. My focus and my goal here was to level everybody up. I only exist here through God, so I have to level everybody up right now. Not later, not tomorrow, because I might be not here tomorrow. People don't know, we don't know our time, so I got to live in the moment right now of truth. That means I got to level you up now, not later. So I have to tell not only every artist out there, but every human being how to increase the value of their life through creativity. I'm here to put millions upon millions of dollars through every person, every podcast, every brand that I want to connect with.
Yeah.
I bring that value, bring $1 million of value right now on this podcast right away. This is why I'm here. I'm here to bring that right now tonight. I'm here to give this information to the world because everyone has the opportunity to achieve greatness.
I really believe that. It's really interesting to me because I was thinking about this as I was driving to the studio today, and I was thinking about art, and I was thinking about how, certain artists get paid ridiculous amount of money and other artists get paid nothing and they're struggling. And to the naked eye, or to the average person, they might see something and they'll be like, that's not even art. And it sold for 10 million. Like, what the hell?
Yes.
Like, what is that?
Yes.
And then there's something like, wow, that's really nice. How much you selling for? Oh, $10. Oh, yeah, I don't think I want it, even though it's really nice, right?
Yes.
And it goes back to what you just said. It's that mindset of understanding that what you do has value.
Yes.
And I think most artists undervalue themselves. They cut themselves short, and they have this feeling of unworthiness. You know. So the reason why I really like what you do and what you represent and your message is because you have a confidence and bravado about your art, because one, you understand that you're good at what you fucking do, so they say, I say this, your competence will increase your confidence. If you're confident but you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you're delusional. You're crazy. You're delusional, and you're gonna make a fool of yourself. But if you're confident and you're competent on top of it, like, what the fuck you're doing, you're like a Conor McGregor, right? Yes. Like, you could talk this shit and back it up, right?
Back it up.
Yeah, like you're like a Jason Lee, an art god. You can talk all the shit, but it speaks for itself, right?
Yeah.
And I think what people need to do is, when you know that you have some raw talent, you should be confident about that, and express it to the world, and have the guts and have the trust, that it's going to work out, because I struggle with that myself as well. So I know that a lot of people struggle with that. So when I see people like you that, like, you have that confidence, I look up to it, and I want to know how to develop that. So, I'm really listening to what you're saying.
Yeah. It's insane. With art is so deep, and it's so limitless and psychological.
Yeah.
And therapeutic, like you said, and spiritual. Like, it's energy. It's a lot of, like, really, really high powered energy that you share with different peoples and souls, and they have different energies too, and everybody has a different ambition in this world.
Yeah.
For me, I understand that not everybody is here to achieve greatness.
Yeah.
That's not in their mentality. That's not me. Like, for me, I know that already. I've already come to grips with the majority of the world. I actually know that there's probably like 5% of the people that really do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 95% of the people that I have met in this world, now that they ain't doing it. They're not doing it. They're not, their mind isn't even geared towards greatness. All that I'm saying to people is just try and shoot for the stars, and you will end up in the moon. That's one of the greatest advices that I've ever heard, because all you got to do is try. Just trying is the most important thing in art. And I always tell people to be okay. Like I was explaining to you, there's artists and there's master artists.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's legendary. And after legendary, you have the goats.
Yeah.
And after the goats, you have the goat of all goats, which is I.
Yeah. You're the goat of all goats, brother.
I'm the goat of all goats. I have surpassed Michelangelo. I love and respect Michelangelo, and he's a great part of he was the last boss, the final boss.
Yeah.
Of my world and art, because in my mind, I had to hit that level, eye to eye. I had to be able to look
At what point did you know that you had surpassed? Because this is interesting. Like, I've had mentors in my life that I got to a point where I realized you have nothing left to teach me. I have become the master.
Yeah.
And I've told them that. Some of them it's been in a drastic way, and others been in a cordial way.
Yeah.
But because I am a student of life, and I seek, I want to know answers to things. I want to understand how things work, and I want to master certain things that other people have. So I seek them out, and when I get it, and I want more, and I realize, he has nothing left to teach me, and I actually have new shit that he doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
And I've evolved past him. So the way I look at art, and it's everything evolves. So I understand when you say that you have surpassed him, because he died how many fucking years ago, Eventually someone has to come and evolve that. Right now, there's a 6-year-old kid that can play guitar solos better than Eddie Van Halen. Better than some of the goats.
Right.
There's a kid right now that could be the goat of all goats, and he's like 6 years old on a guitar, right?
Yeah.
And he's evolving something that someone else created, because you gain inspiration, you gain insight, you gain wisdom, but you are your own being, right? So when did you know that you had become the goat of all goats and surpassed your legend, and who you consider being the best of all time?
Ooh, that's a great question right there, and I got the perfect answer for you. How did I surpass Michelangelo? That is probably the most difficult final bosses of all bosses that the art god had to surpass. I couldn't just beat him. I had to surpass Michelangelo.
Yeah.
And he's the final boss. I knew he was, because every day I study his art. Even till this day, I still study the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah.
I still study the Pietà. Those are the two pieces of artworks that I just bring up, because I learned from the story of Michelangelo, and this is why people know me as the Michelangelo of this generation, and I have that same attitude that Michelangelo had towards the Renaissance master artists at that time, like Da Vinci and Raphael and Caravaggio. He said to them, you know what, I'm better than you at what you do. I can sculpt better. So they at that time, the Pope commissioned Michelangelo to paint the Sistine Chapel.
Right.
The reason why he did that was because the architecture of the chapel and Leonardo da Vinci at that time were hating on Michelangelo.
Yeah.
They wanted that artist banished. He's the artist that's running his mouth, and he's talking shit.
Yeah, he was a shit talker.
He was a shit talker. he would let other artists know, that's horrible right there.
Yeah.
Get that out of here. Why are you in the art studio? Get your ass out of here. You can't even be here. Now, if you look at that mentality towards art, yeah, most people in who are fearful, they're always going to look at that like they're being bullied or something by somebody. Yeah. For me, I took the opposite thought process towards that, and when I saw that Michelangelo had that mentality, it was the competitive mentality of why he was better. Because I grew up with just like that growing up. I was drawing stick figures. Yeah, a kid's gonna draw stick figures, but the moment that I start drawing a proportionate human being, or a baby, or a teddy bear, now the other kids are looking at like, whoa, can I do that? And then they practice. So for me, I know I mastered everything in art, from the shape of everything, from the dynamic of it, from the design of it. I'm a master of design, elevation towards the future. That's why I became the art god, because I became limitless now with art.
I have a question about that for you. Now I feel the next evolution that I've been seeing a lot of this stuff is like the metaverse, NFTs, digital art, and now AI is creating art, which is artificial intelligence is creating art. Technically, there's still a person that has to give it certain commands. Yes. But the AI is creating the art and then giving it back to you based off of what you're asking it to do, right? So for you, is that, still considered art? And is that something that you would compete with as a human being? Or is it like something completely different? Like, what is your thoughts on the future of art? What is it going to be like in the next 100, 200 years? And how will you be remembered?
We're going to watch my show be unveiled. Art God versus AI.
Oh, hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a TV show?
I challenge AI. It's a TV show.
Oh, that's fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
So it's like a prompt, like do this. They have AI do it and then you do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking sick, bro.
Yeah. Art God versus AI. And you know what? I will say to the world, I defeat AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only reason I do is because this is the breakdown of AI. How do I feel about AI? I love it.
Okay.
I love AI. AI is generation instant gratification. Do robots. Transformers.
Yeah.
What would you like to create?
We thought about this a long time ago and we created it.
Yes.
It's interesting because I feel like anything the human mind can conceive in their head, we can create it eventually. What to some people might sound outlandish and crazy. Like I was telling you this, artists, people, when we speak, we're speaking gibberish. They don't see. Most artists are visionaries, right? So when they have an idea, they're thinking in the future. And when you speak it to the world, they see the present. They don't see the future. So they don't see the possibilities. Like the Wright brothers, when they talked about we're going to get in this fucking piece of metal and fly in the air, they're like, are you fucking retarded? Like you're not a bird. When Alexander Graham Bell said he was going to talk to people miles away, they put him in an institute thinking he was crazy. Every innovator is an artist to me, someone that's a visionary that thinks ahead of their time. And at one point we thought about AI and now it's here.
Yeah, it's
we
here.
thought about all this crazy shit and now it's here.
Yeah.
Whatever you can think about, we can create it.
Yes.
It's going to take some time.
Yes.
But that's all you need.
Yes.
Time.
Yes. It really is. The future is now.
Yeah.
And it's interesting now, my perspective about art and everything that's possible now. Man, the future is being built right now through innovators. A lot of people don't realize that art is yes, it's very deep and psychological, and it's about history and marketing, high-powered things like that. But you got NFTs, all kind of great things that have opened up. I love the future, and I love AI. That's why I challenged it. Because it's the challenge of the human mind at the highest degree of why it's a disturbing factor with humans and robots.
Yeah, there's this feeling that
Yeah.
all humans have about AI. I think a lot of it is because of Hollywood and, you know, the movies that we've seen about Terminator and,
Yeah,
you know,
it's-
robots
it's-
taking over and killing the Matrix and shit like that. But at the same time, I look at it as a tool. It's a
Yes.
tool that we can use to better our life. You know, sometimes I hear people saying things like, oh, well, they're going to take our jobs. Or like, well, it's actually creating other jobs that are more higher paying and more technical. And it's taking away jobs that nobody wants to fucking do anyways. Like, who wants to do that shit? It's
Yeah.
like, it's backbreaking. It, like, as a human race, as a species, we should be evolving to make our lives better. I don't think there should be a world hunger anymore. We should have machines and fucking all kinds of shit making food for us on a 24/7. You know, I worked in this food manufacturing warehouse when I was like 18 years old, and they had these robots. They were like a $500,000 robots each, and they were pretty much forklift drivers, and they worked 24/7, right? And people are like, oh, they're taking jobs of forklift drivers. I'm like, yeah, but these motherfuckers don't stop. They work 24/7, you know? And I
Yes.
said, and guess what? There's someone that's to program that freaking machine. There's someone that's to maintenance that machine. There's someone that's to create that machine. There's someone that has to have the contract for that machine. It created 500 more jobs compared to the one job for the forklift driver that gets paid $12.50 an hour. You know, now it's a $500,000 machine that's saving this corporation a bunch of money. It doesn't get sick. It doesn't get tired. Doesn't give attitude back to the manager. It makes sure that it's safe. Like this is innovation in front of your eyes. And for some reason we always fight against innovation. What is innovation in art now other than AI, you know, and NFTs and all of that? So for you, where do you see the future of art? Do you see it all being like in the metaverse and stuff? Because there's like art galleries now in the metaverse.
Yes, absolutely. You know what? I embrace all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to be honest, it's genius.
Yeah.
In my mentality, it's digital real estate. If you know, it's about thinking smart. A lot of artists, a lot of people in this world don't realize art is capital. Art is business. You can create as much value. For me, I was just real intuitive about after I made that $1 million for Microsoft and Bill Gates, my mentality really triggered at that time because I said to myself, damn, I started doing all this information and stuff too. Like, dude, I did that for Bill Gates. How much is he worth? I was all like, dude, billions.
Yeah.
I was all like, dude, 90 billion at the time or something like that. And I was just like, damn, what? I didn't get none of that beat. You know,
So that's a question. As a commercial artist, you get
Yeah.
paid a salary.
You get paid a salary.
You get paid no
Yep.
commission, right?
Yep.
So what you draw it belongs to the corporation. It doesn't belong to you. So I see that happening a lot, you know, for all kinds of artists.
Oh, yeah.
There's musicians, there's actors, there's producers, there's directors, there's writers, there's all kinds of actors. If you work for a corporation, your work belongs to them, you know?
That's right.
And even something as simple as like working for like Mattel toy designers.
Yeah.
You could create a toy that makes that corporation billions.
Yeah.
You're still getting paid your $60,000 a year, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You get paid no commissions on that.
Oh, yeah.
There is risk and reward in everything that you do. You
Yeah.
know, the risk is obviously that it's feast or famine when you're self-employed.
Yeah.
It's you either create something that people see value in and you know how to market and sell,
Yeah.
or you're out of business. So it's very crucial what you said is learning the business side of the art form, you know, because if you don't understand business, marketing, sales, communication, then you're going to be stuck in that rat race of, you know, the struggling artist. Everybody knows that story, right?
That's right.
And I call it my third act is I decided, it took me many years, bro. I'm 36 years old. My whole life I was trying to figure out what I was, you know. I tell people this, everybody has titles, they have name tags, you know, the barista when you go to Starbucks, your barista, the manager, you know, the janitor, he's whatever, we commission the guy, he's the painter, you know. I've worn a lot of name tags, but I finally realized what I was. I am an artist and a philosopher, and
Yes.
everything that I do is a representation of my art form and my philosophy. So I realized that, you know, everybody at the end of the day, when I look at all of my investors and all of the high influential people that I know, they are all collectors of art in one way or another. Like, look at this
Yeah.
room. There's all kinds of art everywhere
Dude,
here by the owner.
Major art collection here.
Yeah. I mean, even outside, there's paintings on the walls.
Yeah.
Everything is art.
Everything.
And I decided that my calling was going to be in film. You know, I decided that was my art form. And the other art forms have been around for very, very, very long time. I think the film is probably the newest form next to, like, you know, digital stuff like NFTs and all of that stuff.
Yes.
But it's still a form of painting. You know,
Yes.
it's just a digital form.
Yeah.
Film, we created the camera, and then now we have a whole new format of art, you know, cinematography, learning how to control the lighting and all that, which you've been doing for centuries when it comes to painting.
Yeah.
You know, it's the exact same thing, but now it's a different modality.
Yeah.
And I understand the power of art because it's transformational. You know, I remember seeing certain movies that changed my life, you know, and that's what I want to do. I want to share stories that are impactful, that when people see them and they leave the theater, they connect with that character, and they realize that they have to change something about their life in a good way. And it connects back to what you were saying, which is God, you know, the creator of creators, the goat of all goats,
goat of all goats.
And something that we didn't touch on, but I wanted to get your opinion on, is I find it that when I consume certain substances, I am way more creative. The way that I look at it is there's certain substances that put you in a frequency, a higher frequency, to allow you to elevate closer to that God source, you know, that ultimate mind, you know, because sometimes I don't even know where these ideas come to me. They just, I'm just a vessel, right?
Yes.
But if I'm not in the right state of mind, if I'm not in the right frequency, if I'm too tense or whatever, it just doesn't flow. And psilocybin mushrooms has been one of the products that I've used to help me both with my mental health, but also with my creativity. I got completely off of SSRIs due to microdosing psilocybin. And when it comes to my creative output, I realize that I learn super freaking fast when I'm microdose or when I'm taking psilocybin. I don't know what it's doing in my mind, but it's allowing me to be extremely creative.
Yeah.
So from your experience, I know you told me that, you know, you've consumed psilocybin. Huge shout out to our sponsor, Maca Bars here, to the boy Maca here at the Coin Academy. So tell us a little about your experience. I know you partake in some plant medicines. You said you've done ayahuasca and psilocybin. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was really interesting. It was brought forward to me through a couple of different friends of mine who had done the ayahuasca, and I was like, they were just like, yeah, it opens up your mind, your third eye, expanding your life. You know, everybody wants to know in their soul what is their purpose. You know, what is the dimension of their life that they want to get to, or go to. What's your journey? You know, and a lot of people are just lost in this world. So I think the ideology of getting to that level is in everybody's minds. So I did want to experience that. And when I did, you know, the first time I had done it, I didn't really my mind didn't channel in.
Yeah.
And, you know, I didn't, and I believe maybe like one of the first time, what I'm talking about as far as mushrooms.
Yeah.
Because I was always like, I tasted it. Mm-hmm. It was you would eat the stems and the caps, and then you eat it, and then it's like it doesn't taste good.
It tastes like shit.
Forcing that shit down, but
that's why it's good to put it in some chocolate. You know?
Yeah, putting in the chocolate. I do remember eating it like that, and then going to Coachella one time. My first time at Coachella, saw. What did I see over there? What's his name? The freaking EDM guy.
Deadmau5?
Guy, not Deadmau5. He's like, I swear, he's David Guetta.
Oh, okay.
David Guetta. We seen him, and I was on, you know, the shrooms, and then my boys just like, okay, we went and saw him for a little bit, and then after we saw Drake.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like, you know, I got to feel it, you know. It's actually, I had a good and fun time. The second time with it was like a friend of mine, him and his girl came, but I think they had they had some bad energy with them.
Yeah.
Presenting it to me, you know, they had good intention, like they both wanted to get to another dimension and talk to me about creativity and life, but they were like fighting with each other.
Yeah, that bad juju will rub off on you, man.
Oh man, yeah. So I couldn't really get into the world of exploration creatively or even dimensionally with them in my mind. But the last time I did it, man, this guy, he was amazing. He brought the shroom. He has the gummies actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then he presented it real proper to me. He was just like, I am a fifth dimension shaman, you know? It's just like, just here to present the mushroom to you and the gummy. He's like, I want you to I'll show you the process of it and where to go, where to kind of put your mind, and then it'll open you up into the dimension. Yeah. And so I was just like, dude, now that's how you do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was interesting when people are like, yeah, dude, have you ever done the ayahuasca or the ceremony with the mushrooms and all that kind of stuff? I was all like, dude, the way that the guy did it, man, it was no joke. You know, like he was a shaman coming through.
Yeah,
you know,
what the shaman does is they guide you. You know, they guide you down the right path, and they keep away, they protect you from bad energy. So when I partook in ayahuasca, the shaman is through the whole ceremony, he is doing what they're called icaros. They're songs that he sings to bring in the good energy, right, and to keep out the bad energy. So he has a special tobacco that he smokes, and he blows it on you to get all of the bad energy away. Because when Mike Tyson said this, when you're favored by God, you're favored by the devil. So what happens is when you try to connect to the God source, Satan is trying to stop you from that. So you start to get all of these bad energies trying to prevent you from reaching truth, knowledge, guidance, love, all of the things that you are looking for, that you're seeking for, is going to try to stop you from getting there. So you need someone that's going to be guiding you to make sure that you don't go down the wrong path. Like those, the bad experiences, there are such thing as bad trips, right? You're in the wrong environment, bad energy, and you're not going to have a good experience. You're not going to be able to tap into that right source. It's like tuning into a radio station. You want to listen to hip hop, but you're like on 93.1, listen to like some classic rock and shit. You're never going to listen to Power 106. That's a different frequency. So in order for you to tap into that creative frequency, you have to be in a certain state of mind and a certain vibrational frequency. But the plant medicine will help you get there, you know, with the right guidance. So that's what a shaman does. You definitely need that great guidance. You know, for me in the art world, tell you actually some cold stories about you know, learning about art. Growing up and why I'm a master artist. The main thing that I want people to realize about, you know, my personality in this world is, as a master artist, is, like I said in the beginning, as the art god. It's a difficult statement for any not just artist but human being to ever say that they are the art god. It's the most powerful. And for me, I said, what's the most powerful thing I can call myself through God, through what I do in art? And it said, art god. Call yourself the art god. You're gonna do it, and you could back it up. you know, a lot of people. A friend of mine is funny. I'll tell you a cold story about why I became the art god. I'm curious.
A friend of mine had told me. He was looking at me. He's like, "You're the master artist." Yeah, I'm the master artist. And then he goes, "I got a cold one for you." And I said, "What's that?" He goes, You always say you're the best of the best. You're the best. Nobody could defeat you. I said, yeah, come on. I'm the master artist. No artist could defeat me. And then he goes, art god. And then he was all like, but you know what? I can't back it up. You can. And I said, you know what? I'm the master artist. You betcha I could back it up. Art God, I know you can't say that. Me? I will kill it. I will destroy the whole competition. And he was like, that's you.
That's when you became the art god.
Yeah, he said, that's you. I said, no, brother, thank you. I said, I know, listen, you know who I am. And he goes, you know what? Listen, I can't back it up. You can. But if I had your powers, if I could do what you do, our God, who's going to defeat me? And I said, oh, thank you. I said, thank you, my brother. So that's the story of how the art
How you
God.
became the art. How old were you when that happened?
This is the pandemic year.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the last 4 years, pretty much.
Yeah, this is like 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years
That's crazy.
ago.
How long have you been out of the commercial world and doing, your own art?
Ooh, for a long time. Yeah, I left the commercial art world after I made Bill Gates to the $1 million.
That's when you realize, like, fuck that, I got to do it for myself.
Dude, my attitude was like this. I made $1 billionaire, that much money. I didn't even see an M.
Yeah.
So I was like, this cat getting millions. And I had an attitude towards learning the business.
Yeah.
And that's what got me favorable in making money in art. That's why a lot of young artists don't realize this. They'll never teach you this in art school. How to become a successful artist. It means you need to know business.
I have a question about that. Is
Yes.
it, in today's age as an artist, is it about getting high ticket commissions, or is it about getting repeat business? Is it about getting some kind of job where it'll pay you residual income long term? What is like the play in your playbook, I guess?
To be a successful artist, to make money. Well, like I said, like you said, you can take the commercial world,
Mm-hmm.
and you can take a graphic design job or an illustrator job
Yeah.
in this world, and you can draw for Disney, Warner Brothers. They'll pay you a salary.
Yeah.
Hey, here's like $60K.
You're
here's
just
like,
paying the bills pretty much.
Yeah, here's like the
Making a
paid
living.
ad. Just show up.
Yeah.
Everything you draw though is going on clock though.
Yeah.
Just put it in right here. Clock in, clock out. Here's what you draw. And here, they'll got the art directors telling you what to do.
Yeah.
You
have not a lot of creative control. You're kind of doing what they're telling you.
You're just a machine.
Yeah.
So for me, because I drew, why I was so talented is like when you're so talented on how my book was, I'm like the equivalent of Tiger Woods and how I was trained as a child.
Yeah.
Because just like Tiger Woods is like putting in everything and learning every aspect. I could draw everything.
Every little detail.
Every detail, any style. Oh, you want realism? Cool, I got that. Renaissance style. You want comic books?
Yeah.
Got that. Marvel style. Oh, you want the cute Karopi Hello Kitty style? Got you on that one.
Yeah.
And then my mind, when I was young, when I started to get towards older, towards college years, I went to I did go to art center when I was a child,
Mm-hmm.
but as I got towards high school, I didn't go to art center. I didn't need to. I went to Cal State Long Beach.
Okay.
So it was right there where I grew up in Cerritos. To really know my story. If you want to know, this is my civilized, conditioned story, and I'm only going to say it once because I don't want to, because to me, the problem in this world is people live in a civilized, conditioned state of mind.
Yeah.
As creators, you're not even a creator yet. You're just a human being living in a civilized state of mind. So you're being conditioned by the society.
Yeah. You have
that
to
we're
follow
living
these
in.
norms, stay within the lines.
Stay within the lines.
Yeah. That's not an artist.
That's not an artist, and that's not, in my opinion, because I am like a Navy SEAL in art. I am a King Leonidas of 300 in art.
Yeah.
I'm right there. I'm not just a king in art, even though I go by the Art God King as my Instagram.
Yeah.
I am like Leonidas because I will be the king and I will stand with the first sword leading the charge of the way.
Yeah.
To achieve an idea or a concept. Because for me right now, people just gotta tell me your dream. I'm walking in this world like the Jesus of art.
Yeah.
I can make your dream come true right now. It's not about the money, because I can make $1 million for you or $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
I have a piece of artwork that teaches people how to become billionaires.
Yeah.
Somebody, when the business of art, I started to understand it when I was a commercial artist at the tail end of my commercial art career. After I made that $1 million for Bill Gates, I popped in attitude and I said, you know what? I did that. And I started popping this attitude out to the commercial art world as a skilled artist.
Yeah.
Because I was making their ideas.
Yeah.
It wasn't my ideas, it's your ideas. I don't give a damn about that.
Yeah.
I'm just getting a check.
Yeah.
So all these creative directors, all these art directors, they surround my desk and here's a sheet of paper. This is what I want you to create. Do the drawing. And all these people are putting a face forward like they're some creative geniuses.
Yeah.
When they're not. They're just, all they are is just a little idea maker and playing that corporate position to kiss somebody's ass about an idea.
Yeah, it's a game for them, a strategy game.
That's all that it is. So I would be annoyed by all that as an artist,
yeah.
who's drawing everything and creating it, doing the hard work.
Yeah.
And so I looked at it, and the creative directors and the art directors, they would all do their graphic design stuff. I'm a master artist. Photoshop, Illustrator, Adobe, all that, Photoshop 1. I dominated it. I destroyed those programs because I would use Photoshop so much, I'd render the hell out of all the artwork that the whole program would just crash.
We need more RAM here.
Need more RAM here. The Adobe Illustrator, same way. I'd made so many pixels, so many lines, the whole thing crashed. So all my friends that are artists, that are young, and that I grew up with in art, they knew that as the best artist, what did I do that they didn't want to do? I always cleaned my art up more precise. A lot of people don't realize art is only subjective to artists that are not skilled at all. They will never be skilled at all. Those artists are subjective. You can say, yeah, I don't know what that is. That looks like a pile of shit.
Yeah.
Or that looks like a cloud with an angel in the middle, or whatever that you want to see of that abstract shape.
Yeah.
That's what an artist, a fine artist at its highest caliber, Jackson Pollock, took it there. And that's where the birth of that, because I know you wanted to know that question about what was the difference and how did I get in that world? Because I did. Because I became, like now, with what I've achieved in the art world, I had to master abstract art.
Yeah.
Which means I had to dive into Jackson Pollock's world.
Yeah.
And I had to
here's a banana taped to a wall.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. And more even intuitively, because I think smart. Art is about how smart you are.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when somebody said, you know what, art, you're the art god, master artist. You've done everything. You've done Michelangelo style. You've done futuristic comic book style. You've created all kinds of just amazing art. You transcend. You're the most skillful artist out there, art god. Like what else is there? And then I said, you know what? There's one thing that I haven't done. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dominate it. Abstract art. And then everybody's all like, what? Wait. You're going to do that?
Yeah.
Oh
my
my
blasphemy.
God.
Not the art god.
Not the art god. You're going to go there.
You're like, I'm going to go beat them in their own world too.
I had to do it.
To prove a point. I get it. I get it. It's like the boxer that wants to go into the MMA world, or the MMA guy that wants to go into the boxing world. Like, I could beat you in everything. I'm a fighter, right? Well, you're an artist. An artist doesn't care. They want to challenge themselves in whatever is out there. So I get it. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, as a kid, there's little key stories about particular times in my life where I remember those types of challenges elevated me to get to a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
So there was, I believe it was maybe third grade around that time. I was the best, but there was another kid that was good too. He could draw.
Yeah.
So the whole entire class put us on stage, and all the other kids, like, they couldn't even draw nothing. But the lady brought a motorcycle.
Yeah.
The teacher brought a motorcycle, put it right there, brought it out for the kids with the paper.
Like a life-size motorcycle, or like a toy motorcycle?
Like a real motorcycle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she brought it. She was like, it was her boyfriend's, the teacher's boyfriend's motorcycle.
That's funny. So you guys can paint it and see who can draw the best motorcycle.
Who could draw it the best.
How much time to give you?
I believe it was probably, it couldn't have been more like 15 minutes or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
Maybe. And at that time,
What was the reward?
Honestly, at that time, we were getting the little badges.
Oh, okay.
So little first place, second place.
Oh, that's funny.
And it was so crazy because it made me understand, like you said, the competitive nature of art.
Yeah.
It's about learning that, and that's a key moment that I had to go through an obstacle because I was challenged. I was always better. No one else would really challenge me.
And this is the first time you saw someone that was like, shit, he's like
Yeah.
as good as me. If not, he might be better than me.
You know what? I was looking at his art, and it's funny. When I looked at his art, I was like, he's fuzzy. He's talented. He's good, but he's fuzzy.
And this is you, how old?
This is me, right? Like, yeah, maybe like 7 or something like that.
I have a
6 or
question
7
about
years
this
old.
because I understand competition.
Yeah.
To me, competition is I want to be the best.
Yeah.
I want to be the fucking best.
Fucking best.
At whatever I'm doing.
At whatever you do.
I want to be the best I want to be the best filmmaker of all time. So someone else that's making a film and I see like, okay, he has an audience, he has a story, but is he pushing the envelope? Like, what? There's something, and then you see something like, oh my God, this dude's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit that I want to be doing, but better. I want to do better than that.
Better than
and then
him,
little by little, I'm like, these motherfuckers don't even know I'm coming after them, right? They don't see me coming.
They don't.
But at one point, I'm like, boom, I'm here, motherfucker. I'm better than you.
Yes.
Like I fucking put in all this work. I blood, sweat, tears. I invested every fucking penny. I did everything that I had to do to get here to compete.
That's right.
Just to compete, I had to fucking kill myself 3,000 times, right?
Yes.
And so that confidence of like, I put myself through fucking everything to be here, to some people comes across as like, who the fuck is this guy? And I'm like, well, you're about to find out, motherfucker. Let me show you what I do.
That's
so
right.
I understand that competition of wanting to be the best, So that's interesting that you had that even at such a young age.
Yeah, you know what? The competitive nature at that young age, was at 6, 5, I was already I learned what I've mainly learned about art, that the whole world, that I could actually give as a great advice for everyone to achieve greatness, is that art is only about confidence at the end of the day. It's just about how confident that you are, and then your dream will be unveiled. Whether it's visual art, whether it's music, whether it's dance, whether it's you want to be an architect, you can be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
You can be a dancer. You can do anything that you want, but then your mentality just has to say, you know what? Yes, I could do that. And then the moment that you can trigger your mind to commit towards obtaining that, and saying, you know what? I'm not just going to talk about it. I'm actually doing it.
Yeah.
And then you're doing it, and then that takes confidence to even just to try it once.
Yeah.
Because I always tell people, like, how do you get better with drawing? They said, how do you become a master at drawing? I said, well, easy one for you. I'll level you up. What's this? Okay, let's draw. We're going to have, here's like a little pot. Put the pot on, put the light on it. Here's some paper. Draw that pot. Okay, draw it once. Okay, cool. Give you like 5 minutes or something like that. Draw it. Cool. You could draw it. Okay, cool. Draw 2 in like 2 minutes. And then, okay, cool. Drawing 2. Oh, okay, cool. Draw 10. And then draw like 10 of them in 3 minutes. Can you do that? and then the person's kind of like falling
Like,
off,
oh,
like a little
shit.
scared, like, damn,
Yeah.
that's too much, dude.
Yeah.
And that fast? Yes, do it.
Yeah.
And then I never done it before. I know you haven't, but you just did 2, and you've never done 2.
Yeah.
So
a challenge.
how do you know how far you can go? You don't even know. So stop being an idiot and just try it.
Just do it.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, challenge it 3 minutes. Oh, dude, you did 10. You actually did. Oh, you know what? The other person right here, he only hit like 4. It's okay. You challenged your head to try and do 10.
Yeah.
You came out with 4. There's not a problem. At least you know where you're at. And then now
Yeah.
you could even do 4.
So I say this all the time. The way that you find your power, the way that you evolve, the way that you grow, the way that you find the elixir of life is at the brink of death. Willing to go all the way to the edge and then saying, fuck it, and jumping. And if you survive, you will come back to life with immense power, right?
Yes.
So the hero and the artist is entwined because the artist is willing to go to those far edges, right to the fucking edge, and they say, fuck it, let's go. Let's see what's on the other side. They're curious about life. They're curious about their expression. So they're willing to do, well, I did 10, I did 4, and I'm gonna do 10, 20, 50, 100, like whatever it is, right? They keep on pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And to most people, they don't understand why they're doing that. But to the artist, it is the closest they ever feel to being alive and the closest they ever feel to understanding God. Right. So like I study magicians, I study inventors, I study artists, and they're all chasing the same thing in a different way. And even when it comes to plant medicine and all of this stuff, what you're doing essentially is you're using this plant to help you get to that brink of death. You know, when you consume psilocybin mushrooms, they call it the ego death.
Yeah.
When you feel like dog shit, you're like, oh, and then boom, it hits you, and now you're on that next fucking dimension, right?
Yeah.
Ayahuasca is the same thing. You're throwing up and you're feeling like crap. And what's happening is the reason why you have these spiritual experiences and these visions when you consume these plant medicines is because your body is having the same response as if you're literally about to die.
Yeah.
So the chemical that is produced in your body when you have so much fucking trauma that you're literally about to die is DMT. It's the God molecule, right? And you can produce DMT naturally in your own body through that. You go into a fucking sauna right now for 45 minutes, and I guarantee you're going to have some fucking visions if you don't die. You know, starve yourself for fucking a week. Trust me, you're going to be seeing some visions.
Yeah.
And that's DMT being pumped in your freaking body. Go climb a mountain in sub-zero temperature and try to survive. And if you make it, you're going to come back a different person. And you can do that with your day-to-day life in your chosen path. And it takes courage, and it takes dedication, and it takes passion for what the hell you're doing. And if you don't have those things, you're never going to really experience life. Everything that I do is for an experience. I want to feel it. I am a method creator. I cannot do something that I don't understand and that I don't feel.
Right.
And if I do, it looks like dog shit.
Yes.
Right. And as you're talking, I see all the correlations between everything else. It's all connected. Life is a fucking fight. You either participate or you get fucked up.
Yes.
You know, it's one or the other.
Yes.
And everything in the world is a competition, whether you like it or not.
Right.
You know, and you can be, you can take on any attitude you want about it. It's like, I don't care. Like, you can yell at the sun, you can curse at the sun, you can love it, you can sing songs to it, you can tell them, fuck you, sun. Guess what the sun's gonna do? It's just gonna fucking shine and do the same thing every single day. It's gonna rise and it's gonna set. And it doesn't give a fuck what you say or do or what. It's just gonna do its thing. That's the same as competition. That's the same as life. It doesn't care. But you take on the attitude that's gonna help you succeed, and is going to help you show the world your art form and heal people and heal yourself. For me, my art heals me. I do it for me, right? And those that experience it, I am hoping that it helps them as well. But first and foremost, I do it for myself. You know, so I really want to thank you, brother, for coming on the show, sharing your insight, your wisdom, your art, you know, your philosophy. I know we could talk for fucking 30 days and shit about everything because you're an interesting person and I can go down a freaking rabbit hole with you. So I definitely want to have you back on the show where we can touch on different subjects. I know we have the concept of, what do you call it? Rose and what?
That's Rose and Jack.
Yeah.
The Masterpiece Goddess series where, you know what, I'm getting, actually, you know, I want to go into this conversation. We didn't really touch on this. Because, you know, it's so interesting. I know the competitive nature part about art can go very deep.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that's how my mentality grew up. I have to always be the best of the best. My mind state just goes there because I understand art is all about your confidence. And if you're the mastermind creator at its highest level of confidence, then you're creating the future. You're creating multi-trillion-dollar ideas, infinite value financially. You're doing generational wealth. You're doing philanthropy. You're innovating the future. So that's how my mentality really upgraded to another dimension for people to understand that's where I'm at. I'm here to help guide people through God. That's how God came into my life because everything started opening and expanding. Financially, everything was easily achieved. All it took is just my confidence in order to be boundless, to be unstoppable, to walk in, to go meet who I intentionally need to meet through God. So God really is a part of how I walk with my art. That's how I became limitless and the best. How did this guy become the greatest artist of all time? You think I'm doing it for myself? No. I'm not here if I'm doing this just to be like some human artist with an ego, whatever, to be like, I'm the greatest artist of all time. No.
Yeah.
I'm here through God. And I love God. I'm here like Jesus, the same way. The Jesus of the art world. I always tell my moms, if I walk like Jesus, like the art in the art world, my mom's just like, that's a beautiful thing. I was like, yeah, that's all I got to do. I can make people's dreams come true. I know I can. I'm not afraid to tell them that. Just honestly, openly, just like Jesus did.
Hell yeah, brother.
People were looking at Jesus. Oh man, he got some followers. He got 12 of the realest followers around.
That's it.
You
Loyal.
know, started right there. And, you know, same way with the art God. You know, I have a lot of people along the journey of my life and my career, and I love it. My journey is just expanding and growing. I'm the Hell's Kitchen of the art world. I'm the cerebral assassin. I'm the game. I'm the rock. I'm the goat of all goats.
Oh yeah.
I have some, Floyd Mayweather was a big mentality of mine growing up in art too. Everybody was calling me, you're the Floyd Mayweather of the art world. I know I can. I could back it up. They hated me when I said that. I said, I could back it up. What? I said, I'll talk my shit. I was all like, you that's all you drawing? You only drew 5? I'm drawing 10 then. And I would always push that on my friends.
Yeah.
Growing up in high school, one of my closest friends, Michael Bunton, the comic book artist, living a comic book life. He's my best friend. Me and him were competitive nature together with art.
Yeah.
He'd battle. He knew way better levels above him. Drew faster than him. Drew cleaner than him. Drew more precise, more dynamic. I could draw from my mind. He had to look at references.
Yeah.
So right away, we understood each other's skill.
Yeah.
And weaknesses. The thing with me is when you're a mastermind, I can draw anything. So it's just about your limitations in your own head. So
Yeah.
he always knew if I bring the art God into something, man, he's going to level it up. Like,
Yeah.
that's just in his
come to
mind.
the next level.
Yeah.
That's it, brother.
Ultimate.
Fucking love it, man.
That's why with him, me and him are always creating multi-million-dollar masterpiece, business creations together, intellectual property.
Yeah.
That's what art is. So remember, you wanted to know like what kind of advice I can give to people to level up their mind when it comes to making art. It's intellectual property. That's all you're making. So if you created an idea, you're either saying to yourself, either I'm just being an expressionist, which is an artist or a person that's trying to make a piece of artwork but doesn't have intention.
Yeah.
That means you're just expressing your emotions onto the canvas or the art.
Yeah.
Without being strategic.
Right.
So
it's like throwing up on the fucking piece of paper.
That's it. So you can't expect that to be financially valued. Mm-hmm. The only way that you can expect that art to be financially valued is if you mastered the ideology of the business of art, which is you have to say honestly to yourself as a creator, I'm going to make that one piece worth $1 million. And I'm going to put all of my intellectual property mentality together to make sure that I position that to be true. And so that's what I mastered.
Hell yeah, bro.
I said to myself, you know what?
To me, it's 50 million.
It's the 1 million was just a small goal. Who said it was a big goal, right?
Yeah.
They're like, start with something. Oh, okay, yeah. What's something that kind of people think is like unimaginable? It's $1 million masterpiece of art.
It sounds like a lot.
It sounds like a lot.
But nowadays, $1 million is like nothing and shit.
Like nothing, right?
Yeah.
But that's where it starts, right?
Yeah.
And then it's funny because a friend of mine hit me up because people, the art collectors in Beverly Hills and Bel Air, when they see me go around, they know, oh, that's the master artist guy. And yeah, his art's like multi-million-dollar masterpiece. And then they're like, oh, wow. And I told him, yeah, that's my marketing. Yeah, they got to know it's at least $1 million that they're paying for.
At least.
And it's so funny.
If you don't have $1 million to spend, don't even talk to me.
Come on. Because you know what? It's interesting. When you say the million, it just checks people's mentality about business and money. Is that $1 million a lot to you? Or is it like, that's small money? You know, like, because when you say that, you look at the expression on people and you could already read it right away. Oh my God, that's $1 million? What? And then like small money. The billionaire is like, oh, $1 million? Oh, okay. I donate about like 100 million per year. You know,
that's donation. That's giving away.
The billionaire is talking like that.
It's donation, or give it to the government. I'd rather donate it. Donate it, man. Right? And then all of a sudden it levels you up because now you're intuitive with the billionaire because you're like, oh damn, wow. So you donate 100 million towards your philanthropies. Well, I'm putting my art right here at $1 million. Now you're looking at it like, whoa, how about we combine our attributes and our intentions together? You obviously have $1 million piece of artwork. I want to raise funding for my nonprofit. The billionaire and I come together and we auction that art off and we raise funding together at $2 million. He could put whatever number he wants, 5 million. Yeah. And it's to his billionaire clients. Yeah.
That's how you play the art world. You have to really think about it.
Yeah, even talking about the Renaissance, the way that the goats position themselves is they went to the people that can commission them. The Medici, they own the fucking banking system. They own the Catholic religion, owned the whole freaking world at that time. They're conquering everything, so they had all the money. They had all the architecture. They had all the everything pretty much. And that's who commissioned them.
The Medici family, 500 years ago from the Renaissance, they were commissioning Da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael. They were like the highest level of finances and wealth at that time.
Yeah.
That aspect has never changed in art.
Yeah.
But the beauty about art.
Does the Catholic Church still commission artists?
I would assume that they should be.
Yeah, but I don't see them building any new like major, architectural stuff. But and I haven't heard of them like commissioning any major artist for like a big piece. But I'm curious. Maybe they would bring back the art god, make a new sculpture or a new painting. A new 16 chapel, let's make it the 17th.
You know what? I actually, that is a project that I would like to create. I'd actually like to create a new rendition of like you said, the 17th chapel on a high-powered billionaire, mansion, private complex, or commercial real estate complex, or a museum. Mm-hmm. Right, a private museum for a billionaire who would want to actually put his money where his mouth is when it comes to art and God and creativity and being limitless.
Yeah,
with creating like the greatest future and the expansion of it, then to create a futuristic rendition of the Sistine Chapel.
That'd be fucking sick,
as
dude.
The art God that's like transcendent. So you're creating the future of what reality is. When I see the Sistine Chapel now, I do want it. I'm going to take it. I can take it because you know how I transcended Michelangelo to really, really cold, skillful wise as a master. Michelangelo created David, and I saw all of his drawings. I mastered his drawing techniques. He could render the body. He really was so precise about realism. He got every muscle, every vein, every shape. Yeah. Now, that technique shows you the potential of realism. But for me, because I grew up in comic books, mm-hmm. my mind was like, cool, I could draw David Banner. Mm-hmm. Right? I could draw David Banner like with his hand normal, like a real human being. And then after I got there, which was Michelangelo. Yeah. Now, after I got there, I was all like, but I could also make him into the Incredible Hulk. And then all of a sudden, his hands were like, they're huge. Yeah. I was like making a world. You know what I mean? I was making the power come to life. Yeah. Now, mind you, I could stay in the realism state if I wanted to go there and be Michelangelo and the Renaissance guys like doing it. But I was all like, no, this is the future. Comic books is transcendent of that technique of just drawing stuff, because it's to me, I don't want to be the best renderer in the world.
Yeah. You're pretty much taking a picture.
Yeah. Don't mind me though. I'm just like Michelangelo. I'll battle the hell out of you. And if I do want to kick you in the pants and render better, I'll even go beyond you. Yeah. I'm that kind of guy, because just like Conor McGregor and like the fighters, like Floyd Mayweather, with comparing his technique with other fighters. Floyd Mayweather always said, I'm the best. I'm better than any boxer at what they do. Even what they could jab good, I'm jab better than them. They got a good left hook. I got better left hook than him. They got a good uppercut. My uppercut's 10 times better than yours. I do everything better than every boxer. That's what Floyd Mayweather said. So I'm like the same way with art. I could draw better than you. If I could draw better than you, that's like a tight jab. So you're the best at jabbing. Yeah, I'm the best at jabbing. I could jab a masterpiece, bro. You're jabbing just to make some chicken scratch. Yeah. We got a different mentality, bro. No. Yeah. You're jabbing to do a chicken scratch while I'm doing a blueprint of a spaceship. Yeah. We're in a different world. Damn, dude. You went there.
Get your chicken scratch out of here.
Get the chicken scratch out of here. You're wasting time.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's why I respect Michelangelo, how he was in the art studios, why he was so hated. Yeah. Is because he was like, if a kid came in trying to draw like Jean-Michel Basquiat, like a child, right? Yeah. Michelangelo's the first one to say, get that little kid out of here. Get him out of here.
It's setting a standard.
Setting a standard.
And it's competing with the best. That goes back to like, I want to be the best there is. And in order for you to be the best, you have to compete with the best.
That's right.
And if someone is not on the level of competition, that's why there's amateurs, and then that's why there's pros.
That's right.
And that's why even in the pros, there is the championship belt,
Yes, there is.
and there's the contenders, and then there's everybody else. And that's why the champ gets paid the most. That's why the champ gets everything. And whenever the champ sees someone that is not on his level, it's like, what do you bring to me kind of deal, Like, what is it? Why should I even fight you? Why should I even compete with you? What can you do? And then that's the job of the up-and-coming artist, up-and-coming fighter, is to prove themselves. So if someone, let's say you were that kid and he were to say that to you, you can either be defeated or you can be like, fuck this fool, I'm going to show him what's up, and you can work on your craft. You can become better. You can evolve, and one day you can surpass that same person that was talking shit to you. I've done it in a lot of things. I'm sure you have, and everybody out there, I'm sure, can do that in their life. But yeah, brother, I want to again thank you for coming on this show and sharing your stories. We'll definitely have you again in the future. Guys, make sure to follow my brother on Instagram at the Art God King. There's also, what's the other page that you have?
Oh, my body art page is Body Art God.
Body Art
my
God.
Masterpiece Body Art, and all the beautiful goddesses. I got a funny last joke.
Let's hear
to
it.
tell you before we end this. I have the eternal. I always tell people this, that people on podcasts, they don't ask the hardest questions. Ask the hardest questions to yourself. Okay, if I was on the podcast, I'm sitting there interviewing myself.
Yeah.
This is the greatest artist of all time. Damn, man. But I'm very intuitive. He loves the bad bitches, beautiful women. I got a real interesting question for him about that. Like, how did he get into all that? We're doing all the art of beauty, seduction. What made him master that? And I was like this. I made $250,000 that year because Ludacris wore a t-shirt design that I designed and drew of a gorilla roaring with a DJ in the mouth. A DJ.
You designed that?
I designed that.
That's crazy.
And he's roaring, and it's like this crazy cartoon comic, like King Kong crazy shit. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, that one design made me over $2.5 million. One design. It's a gorilla roaring.
That's crazy.
And the DJ in the mouth, though, he's got to be going hard. Put that big on a t-shirt. I promise you, we're making million sales worldwide. And I did that. I put that out there, and I got an investor. Ludacris wore the shirt. I was passing shirts at the Miss Malibu pageant, and I was all like, this is why God is so real. God, a friend of mine, I was at my lowest point. I didn't have no money into my name at that time.
Yeah.
But I was just struggling. I didn't have no money. A homegirl calls me that I did a fashion show with because she saw my artwork, and she said, oh my God, you're talented.
Yeah.
And she goes, I work for this company that's $1 billion corporation. My boss, basically, he's gonna break away from the company, and he's like a multimillionaire guy. He needs you. You need to meet that guy.
Yeah.
And then he needs you and your art, and you do business with him. I met the Garmento. He was like a billionaire Garmento in Malibu. He was like, yeah, I made this corporation $1 billion. Everybody's fighting for money. It's greedy. I'm getting out their business. I already made $1 billion already. I'm getting out. I need an artist like you. I said, oh, let's partner together. Got you. Changed my life. $2.5 million we're going to invest into you and your art.
That's crazy.
Putting it on t-shirts. Worldwide, we're going to make sales. Man, in one day, because Ludacris wore it.
That's crazy.
In front of TMZ. And
Yeah.
Khloe Kardashian is on one side, the Miss Malibu pageant president on the other. everybody, TMZ, everybody taking pictures.
And then the art god started capturing these goddesses.
Capturing these goddesses.
That's it.
Goddesses have been a part of my history of seduction. I want to go deep with you in the future with this, on another story, but mainly, I want to leave this funny story about how cold I am with seduction in art. So when I was in high school, I was probably like a junior or senior in high school. I went to Comic-Con because I wanted to be a comic book artist.
Mm-hmm.
So before I was a comic book artist, I used to go to Comic-Con with a friend of mine, and we were in high school and stuff, and we met some movie producers in New York. They came to Comic-Con to get ideas and comic content and work with artists, try to find up-and-coming artists to collab with and work with. So this New York movie company, they were like, dude, we need comic book superhero goddess characters. They saw my girls of the art that I did, a cartoon comic book girls, like Catwoman and all these Wonder Woman. They were like, damn, you did that? Yeah, I did that. They're like, okay, we got to get you to draw our goddesses. So he came at me and said, we got 10 hot girl, goddesses.
Yeah.
And do it like anime style, but we want them sexy.
So every girl like created a design from this girl.
Create a design.
Make
and
her an alien.
Like, dude, I got
Make her a robot.
Yeah.
Sexy robot.
Sexy robot girl, everything. And I drew all 10 characters. And I was very intuitive because when I drew girls, I always drew like the face of the girl and the bodies of the girl, like real sensual and seductive. And then that's what they were attracted to. They saw my portfolio and they were like, damn, he drew Zealot from Wildcats, and he drew Psylocke from X-Men. Like, damn, it looks sexy. So I drew their characters and I sent them a package. So I sent the designs to New York.
Yeah.
And the package came for them, and then the guy he said he called me. I got a call the next day, and he goes, oh, you know what? We got the package. And he said, hey, you know what? Damn, brother, I got to tell you, man, those are the sexiest freaking goddesses I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, man, thank you. I appreciate that, man. I'm the best in the world at doing beautiful, hot goddesses. I draw the souls out of that. And he goes, man, I'm going to tell you a crazy story. So your art came, and I had it in the envelope, and it was in my office. And I had it in there, and I was like, damn, these are so sexy, so beautiful. I put them all on my desk. I had to lay them out, and I was like looking at them. I was like, damn. I was so blown away. The hottest I've ever seen. He goes, I go running out of my office to go find my partner because I said, dude, this is the sexiest ones I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He did it. And then I couldn't find him. I ran around the whole office. And then I got back to my desk, and it was gone. Somebody stole it already.
Stole?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Off my desk. Everybody gone. I was panicking. I said, where the hell did it go, man? Dude, those are the sexiest ones. I went to go find him but nope, it's gone. He goes looking around. He's trying to see who took it. But he's like, nobody's there but the partner.
Yeah.
And then he says, I found him.
He had the fucking paintings
in the restroom. And I was like, what's he doing over there in the restroom? He was all, dude, he was beaten off to your drawings. That's
a trip, bro.
He was beating it off. And he says, oh my God. He's like, bro, I got to tell you, your art got that kind of power.
That's funny.
He's like, just sexually, sensually, seductively, you nailed that.
Yeah, it came to life.
It came to life. Like that actually is what it did.
Yeah.
So that's a story that it's funny to a lot of people, but it's also so intuitively it explains the seduction of how I mastered it.
Yeah.
Like, because to me, I grew up on Playboy, grew up on the Penthouse, grew up on, just seeing seduction, porn, all that
Yeah,
kind of
like,
stuff this.
you're a man,
Yeah.
and as a man growing up from your childhood to your adolescence, you go through experiences, and I could only express my life to people through my perspective of my life as a man, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense why you are the art god and why you are able to show the goddesses in the way that you do, because that is what you have a passion for. I think all men do, especially that guy who was jerking off in the fucking restroom, But that was a cool story, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, brother, we'll definitely have
Yeah.
you back on where you can share some more of your crazy stories. We can talk about some cool topics. We might even talk about some weird shit next time too, bro.
Dude, let's do it.
But
man.
guys, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure to follow my brother, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yes.